an MoU exchange between the Gender Park and the UN Women in the presence of the Honorable Chief Minister of Kerala. The Gender Park is an initiative under Department of Women and Child Development, Government of Kerala, which brings together policy, research, education, and social initiatives with one declared objective: equality and empowerment of women in our state. UN Women is a subsidiary of the United Nations mandated to achieve the same: equality and empowerment of women and girls across the globe. These two organizations, with the same vision and mission, come together in a unique partnership, in an equal partnership, with one big dream: to address gender equality in the South Asian region of the world. And with the exchange of memorandum of understanding this afternoon, we are formalizing this association, and we are glad you're all joining in for this ceremony. It's my pleasure to invite Sri Biju Prabhakar IAS, Secretary, Department of Social Justice and Women and Child Development, to welcome you all formally.
Honorable CM Sri Pinarayi Vijayan of Kerala, Honorable Health, Social Justice, Women and Child Minister Srimati K.K. Shailaja Teacher, Srimati Nisha Satyam, Deputy Representative and Officer in Charge of the UN Women India NCO, Sri Mohammed Sunish, CEO Gender Park, and the dignitaries gathered here, and the dignitaries who are seeing this live video over the web. A hearty welcome to all of you. Before proceeding for my formal welcome address, let me say a few words about the Gender Park. The Gender Park is a unique initiative of Government of Kerala, maybe a unique initiative anywhere in India. It is envisaged as a platform for all the gender-related issues and the studies and other aspects regarding the gender policy, research, education, social initiatives, and UN Women. It's an international organization under the auspices of United Nations for the gender equality and empowerment of the women in general, a very great global platform of all the stakeholders. In fact, this is a very unique moment for the Government of Kerala as well as the people of Kerala in getting associated with the UN Women MCO of India, in establishing the South Asian hub in Trivandrum, in Kerala, where the Gender Park is getting constructed in Calicut. We have the first phase of the Gender Park to be inaugurated probably in a couple of weeks or days by the Honorable CM himself. And UN has already consented to associate, and that association in the presence of our Honorable Chief Minister will be formalized here through an MoU signed between the CEO Gender Park and Nisha Satyam, Deputy Representative. So this association of two agencies, definitely Kerala is going to be benefited, the India is going to be benefited because of the presence of the UN women here in Kerala, and it serves three countries in the South Pacific region, where the Maldives, Sri Lanka and other neighboring countries will also be benefited out of this. These initiatives will be carried to these countries as well. So we are actually witnessing such a proud moment where UN Women is hand-holding or joining with us in empowering our women, as well as for providing addressing the gender gaps in general. So coming to my welcome address, may I welcome the Honorable Chief Minister of Kerala, under whose presence and guidance this government for the last 5 years have made many strides in equality, in the gender equality. For example, the transgenders, which was not that much a prominent force at least a few years ago, has come into the limelight nowadays. Several of them are getting empowered through the initiatives under the Social Justice Department. And especially when it comes to the gender equality, there are several initiatives which have been done during the last 4.5 years, in which the government has tried to reduce the gaps, empower the women, through the Women Development Corporation. A new department itself has been formed, all under his leadership. I like to say words and pages about the initiatives of this newly formed department, which is functioning since 2017 in the empowerment of women and to reduce the gender gap. So a hearty welcome on behalf of all of us here from the department to our beloved Chief Minister, Sri Pinarayi Vijayan. Srimati K.K. Shailaja teacher, who require no introduction at all, in strengthening the hands of our Chief Minister and in fighting the COVID and other issues taken up, all the social issues taken up forward during her tenure as the Minister for the Health, Social Justice and now Women and Child for the last 4.5 years. A hearty welcome to our leader, Srimati K.K. Shailaja teacher, our Minister. Srimati Nisha Satyam was very much instrumental in getting this materialized as an MoU. Right from the beginning, at least 2 years ago, from 2018 onwards, she was very actively pursuing that all these good initiatives of Kerala to be replicated into less privileged societies. And that's how she has taken the initiative in associating with our department in establishing this South Asia hub and getting into a formula. Hearty welcome to Madam also. And the initiative of Mr. Mohammed Sunish, as the CEO of Gender Park, he has taken a lot of strides, lot of initiatives, the sheet taxi, and so many other initiatives he has taken forward. Now this is definitely a proud moment for all the people of Kerala in getting this MoU formalized with none other than the UN Women. Hearty welcome to Mr. Sunish also. So I welcome all the audience who are here in this, who are witnessing this event over the web. Hearty welcome to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for setting the context and also welcoming the dignitaries and our audience joining in live. Next is a special address by the leader who is spearheading the activities of the Gender Park in the capacity of the Minister for Health, Social Justice and Women and Child Development, Srimati K.K. Shailaja teacher.
Honorable Chief Minister of Kerala, respected Madam Nishda Satyam from UN Women, our beloved Secretary to Women and Children and Social Justice Department, Biju Prabhakar IAS, our CEO, Gender Park, PTM Sunish, dear brothers and sisters. As Biju Prabhakar explained, the Gender Park is an initiative for strengthening gender equality and empowerment in the state. Gender Park activity formulates policy, research, education, and social initiatives for reducing gender gaps in the society. It was in last October that we had a formal meeting with Ms. Nishda Satyam at UN House in New Delhi to discuss the possibilities of collaboration with UN Women, the global champion for women and girls that works for women's equal participation in all aspects of life. As per direction of our Honorable CM, Chief Minister, we discussed a broad framework and areas that we can cooperate to advance causes that we value. Gender Park's flagship projects pioneered the efforts to encourage aspiring women to take the entrepreneurship journey, creating safe spaces for women and giving unlimited opportunities to move forward. Kerala is a state that has broken gender barriers and promoted inclusion of those living in the fringes of the society. Formation of a separate women and children department, allowing women drivers in public sector under gender sensitive budgets, and all women battalion of Kerala Police, more assistance for women through Women and Child Department, and several flagship programs for women are visible examples. During COVID-19, thousands of women comprised the frontline warriors to fight against the pandemic. We rolled out a policy on transgenders to mainstream them from marginalized spaces. Although the MoU signing was planned at the beginning of the year, it had to be postponed due to the pandemic but Gender Park has continued to associate with the UN Women in its initiative. We are proud to formalize our partnership with UN Women, and this marks the beginning of the new chapter for Gender Park in working closely with UN Women to take forward initiatives of gender justice. Unify our efforts to secure gender parity in South Asia through a shared agenda to empower women, build their resilience, and bring forth sustainable change for women and girls around the world. Gender Park is all set to unveil a slew of projects at our campus in Kozhikode, a convergence point for all gender-related activities and development in the state. The Gender Library, Gender Museum, Vice Fellowship, and IWTC, the first of their kind initiative to educate and empower all genders. Our most ambitious project, IWTC, the first global trade center for women, will be a major social enterprise initiative to accelerate sustainable entrepreneurship and provide a safe space for women to foster their ambitions and talents. Look forward to working with UN Women and further strengthen our collaboration in the future. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am, for being the flag bearer of the equality that we envisage and for those words elucidating our plans and projects. Next, we move on to that ceremony that we've been waiting for, the MoU exchange between the Gender Park and UN Women. Dr. P.T.M. Sunish, Chief Executive Officer of the Gender Park, and Ms. Nishtha Satyam, Deputy Country Representative, UN Women for India, Bhutan, Maldives, and Sri Lanka at United Nations, will exchange the Memorandum of Understanding. This is an ambitious project which dreams for gender equality in the South Asian region. And under this partnership, the UN Women will offer technical support in capacity development and training to the Gender Park. I respectfully invite our chief guest, Ms. Nishtha Satyam, for her keynote address.
Honorable Chief Minister of Kerala, Honorable Minister for Women Empowerment, Social Justice and Health, Honorable Secretary of the Ministry of Women Empowerment, Social Justice, Transport, and many other important portfolios, and the CEO of Gender Park. It is my immense pleasure to be an honor to be physically present in this esteemed company of you all, something that we have also come to understand as unconventional in today's unprecedented times. I'm here for many reasons, but more above all is the reason to applaud the government of Kerala for tirelessly working on bridging the gap in gender and strategically thinking of women in all sectors, also in non-traditional roles. It gives us immense pride that we have such a story coming out of our country, where vehicles of government and public sector enterprises with women at wheels has become a reality in this state. Concerning the safety of women in public spaces is a rising concern across the globe and in the country. And in such a state, a 24/7 taxi service, which was introduced by the government of Kerala with an objective to ensure safe, secure, and responsible travel for women, will go a long way in solving one of the basic fundamental barriers to gender equality, which is mobility. Other initiatives by the government has activated community through their 3-tier community network programs to empower women. The expansive scope of the state government's work has also reached out to transgender communities with jobs under the Metro Corporation, a constituency that the country has ignored now for a very, very long time to come. The prioritization of mental health with the introduction of a psychological support team to devise strategies on managing stress and mental health concerns during the pandemic is a stellar example of the government's foresight and not just inclusion of gender groups but also gender concerns. In the current pandemic, ASHA workers and their roles have been activated in the state, working as a connection between health officials and those in quarantines. This and many more such strategic interventions makes Kerala a possible lighthouse for the global south as it comes to gender issues. As Biju sir said, there is indeed pages and pages to read when it comes of the government's initiatives to prioritize the issue of gender. As it may seem obvious, but it is something that is not as obvious when you look at the work on gender. Gender is also the greatest rhetoric and the most underinvested area of concern across the globe. While we are at a stage where no country in the world, as per their own indicators of the Sustainable Development Goal 5, can claim themselves as gender equal countries, the state of Kerala is making big strides. While I've had the opportunity to highlight some of these initiatives, there are some others that cannot be ignored. The introduction of pink beat patrols for addressing safety of women and children in public spaces, trained women police personnel, armed women police battalion which was constituted in 2017, are great strides towards the issue of gender equality. Short stay homes and hostels for women traveling alone and those who want to escape harassment or the issue of domestic violence, which has surged across the country, is another of these examples. UN Women congratulates the state government of Kerala for championing gender equality in the state. We truly believe that achieving gender equality is a prerequisite to achieving any other sustainable goal. There is absolutely no way that India can achieve its goal if half of the country stays behind and just sees the game. It is impossible for the world to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals if India doesn't achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. And I deeply, from the bottom of my heart, congratulate, applaud the state government of Kerala, the leadership, in such difficult times to prioritize the issue of gender, setting the country in a position to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Let me also pause and congratulate the government of Kerala and particularly Madam K.K. Shelja under the guidance of the Honorable Chief Minister for the exemplary measures to tackle the challenge of COVID-19, a situation that the world or any state has not seen before. The global recognition by the UN Secretary General on the Kerala government's leadership has been a moment of national pride for each one of us. Of course, as someone with a deep belonging to the state of Kerala, it's also a moment of immense personal pride for me to see the great strides and change that the government has made, the readiness of the system to tackle the ongoing pandemic. The association of UN Women and the government of Kerala on Gender Park is not new. Building on our previous work through the International Conference on Gender Equality, held in November 2015, we have now come together as equal partners in realizing the vision of the Agenda 2030 and closing the gender gaps along adopted indicators and targets. What we propose through this collaboration is to work on innovative and tech-enabled solutions to address inequalities, strengthen inclusion of women and girls in all their diversity in the development process, specifically by supporting women's economic empowerment through livelihoods and skill development, generating sex disaggregated data across social groups and sectors, promoting leadership and meaningful equal representation of women and marginalized groups, preventing and mitigating and responding to gender-based violence and sexual exploitation, making financial provisions and mainstreaming gender in our policies. With that, I would like to conclude that the mantra of change, reform, perform, and transform has been actioned by the state government of Kerala. As the world's largest democracy, we have a task at hand to be a thought leader in the Agenda 2030, where we build progress collectively with all development actors. We hope to lay a huge stepping stone to this in this country with Gender Park, and so to also acknowledge Kerala, as I said, the lighthouse of the global south in ensuring and showing the world how not to just talk about gender, but how do we work on gender. And I'm really glad that the state has exemplary examples of leadership in women. I think it's been a role model state for the rest of the world. Like I said, it's also made it to the SG speech. And indeed, this is a moment of national pride for each one of us. And hopefully, with the Gender Park, we will be able to take this to the next level of achieving equality in the state. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Ms. Nishtha Satyam, for that open and vibrant appreciation of the state government's initiatives. And in recognition of these initiatives as an alignment of their ongoing campaign, Generation Equality, which is for realizing women's rights for an equal future, the UN Women would like to present a memento to the Government of Kerala, and our Honorable Chief Minister will be receiving that from Ms. Nishtha Satyam. It's now time for the speech of acceptance by the Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Pinarayi Vijayan.
Sisters and brothers, greetings to you all. At the outset, let me express our government's immense joy at the fact that the Gender Park and UN Women have entered into a memorandum of understanding. I think this is a step in the right direction as far as the Gender Park's mandate is concerned, to drive policy, research and socio-economic initiatives that work for a just and equal society. With this MoU in place, we hope that the Gender Park will now emerge as the South Asian hub for all gender-related activities conducted by UN Women. Undoubtedly, Kerala is one of the best places in the region to emerge as a hub of the gender discourse. Kerala's women are among the most educated in the country, and according to the latest periodic labor force survey, there is an increase in female workforce participation in Kerala from 16.4% in 2017-18 to 20.4% in 2018-19. The fact that this MoU has materialized right now definitely makes this a proud moment for all of us who strive to realize a just and equal society. In that context, I think that we need to look at how social enterprises and businesses can empower communities if the process can be made more gender inclusive as far as the government of Kerala is concerned. This is important in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030, which we are committed to. Let me conclude by wishing this cooperation all the best. The government of Kerala looks forward to see what you can offer to the society of Kerala at large. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for being the visionary who's leading from the front. Let us all rise for the national anthem now. Thank you everyone for joining this live session from Cliff House. Here is to a future of equality. Thank you.